Hi guys! We're back again with Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew, Scream for Ice Cream. Once again written by Carolyn Keene and illustrated by Mackie Pomintuan. Last time we left off with Nancy having a secret cryptic message left at her door in popsicle sticks. It said, "Give up." I bet you Nancy and the Clue Crew won't give up though. Let's see what happens next in Chapter 6. Club Flub. I wonder what that means. Let's find out. Ew, don't touch them, Bess warned. If they're popsicle sticks, they've been licked. It was Friday morning. The popsicle sticks from the weird message the night before were spread out on Nancy's desk. Licked popsicle sticks usually have ice cream stains on them, Nancy said. These don't. That makes it even weirder, George said. Nancy picked up a stick and flipped it over in her hand. Each stick has the words Lickety Sticks Company stamped on it, she said. That must be the place where these popsicle sticks were made. Who would leave such a creepy message? Bess asked. Thanks to Deirdre, everyone knows we're trying to solve Kendra's case, Nancy said. So the person who stole Kendra's recipe probably wants us to give up. But who would have that many popsicle sticks? Bess asked. The girls thought in silence. Suddenly, George snapped her fingers and said, Kevin had a box of popsicles in his shopping basket. A box like that only holds 6 popsicles, Nancy said. A lot more sticks were used to write that message. Maybe it's more than one person, Bess said. Daisy's fan club eats ice cream all the time. And Jim and Barry make popsicles too. I wish we could go to a club meeting, Nancy said. Then we could find out what kind of ice cream they're making for the contest. George pointed to a calendar hanging over Nancy's desk. Today is Friday, she said. Doesn't the Jim and Barry fan club meet every Friday? How can we go to a meeting if we're not members? Bess asked. The girls didn't say a word as they thought. Then Nancy had a brainstorm. I know. Let's join the club, Nancy said. I don't want to join that club, Bess whined. Daisy is so bossy. And we already have a club, George said. A detective club. We'll just be joining to get their top secret recipe, Nancy explained. We don't have to go to any meetings after that. The girls knew that Daisy lived on Sparrow Street. George turned on the computer and found Daisy's street on a special map search site. Only 4 blocks away, George announced. We can go there together. Bess and George already had their bikes and helmets at Nancy's house. Nancy grabbed hers and the 3 pedaled to Daisy's house. As the girls rode, the Mr. Drippy truck, that's the ice cream truck, remember, the Mr. Drippy truck rambled past them. Henderson stuck his head out the window and shouted, Ew, it's the Clue Crew. How does he know we're the Clue Crew? Bess called from her bike. Probably from school, Nancy called back. We're famous, George declared with a smile. The 3 girls turned into Sparrow Street. They parked their bikes against a big tree on the sidewalk. Then they walked up the cobblestone path to Daisy's house. A teenage boy opened the door after the girls knocked. You're here for my sister's meeting. You're here for my sister's meeting, he asked. So what's the secret password? Password? The girls traded worried looks. Cone? Nancy guessed. Sprinkles? George asked. Banana split? George said. The boy started laughing at the girls. Then he cracked up The boy stared, so he looked at them. The boy stared at the girls. Then he cracked up laughing. There is no password, he said. You fell for it. I am so good. George rolled her eyes as the boy yelled for his sister. Brothers, she groaned. Ugh, I've got 2 of them. Daisy came running to the door. She looked surprised to see Nancy, Bess, and George. Hi, Daisy, Nancy said. We want to join the Jim and Barry fan club. You want to join right before the contest? Daisy asked. You don't want to steal our secret recipe, do you? No way, Nancy said. We have our own recipe for the contest, remember? Daisy folded her arms as she looked from Nancy to Bess to George. Okay, she said, but every member has to pass a taste test first. You mean taste ice cream? Bess asked. All right, George cheered. That's one pop quiz we want to take. Nancy, Bess, and George followed Daisy into the house. As they walked through the kitchen, Daisy introduced them to her mother, Mrs. Dorfer. Mrs. Dorfer was on her knees, stuffing cans and boxes into a big blue recycling bag. Daisy then led the girls downstairs to the basement. The fan club was sitting cross-legged on the floor. Melissa and Peter waved to the girls. Nancy thought most of the kids looked friendly. Peter's shirt said Marshmallow Martian. Bess whispered, Yucko. Shh, Nancy warned. We have to love all the flavors, or they won't let us join the club. Daisy walked to a desk near the door. She held up a writing pad and said, I just wrote our recipe, nice and neat, for Jim and Barry to read tomorrow. Nancy and Bess stepped forward. Nuh-uh, Daisy said. She ripped the page off the pad. Not until you join the club. Sure, Nancy said. Let the taste test begin. Soon, Nancy, Bess, and George were sitting on chairs in the middle of the room. Club members giggled as they tied colorful bandanas over the girls' eyes. Nancy couldn't see, but she could hear everyone chatting excitedly. She could even smell something sweet, like ice cream. George is first, Daisy said. Give her the bowl, Melissa. Nancy heard George's spoon clatter against ceramic. Then she heard a gulp, as if George was swallowing. Well, Daisy asked. It has a definite nutty taste, George's voice said, with a touch of caramel and just a hint of... What is it already? A boy demanded. Peanut brittle blast, George said. The club members applauded. Correct, Daisy said. You can take your blindfold off, George. Next was Nancy's turn. She felt an ice cream bar being shoved into her hand. Taking a bite, she began to chew. The ice cream was crunchy, as if it had bits of candy inside. I'm pretty sure this is toffee coffee, Nancy said. More applause. "You guys are good!" Daisy exclaimed. Nancy whipped off her blindfold. Still eating the ice cream, she turned to George and winked. "Bess is last," Daisy said. "Give her the ice cream, Melissa." Melissa smiled as she stepped forward with a bowl. Nancy gasped when she saw the mound of ice cream inside the bowl. It was bright green. "Oh no," Nancy thought. "It's Marshmallow Martian." That's the end of our chapter for right now, okay? We have to stop. Oh my gosh, we have to wait and see what will happen next in chapter 7, Candy Handed. Ooh, we'll see what happens next time, okay, my friends? We'll see what happens in Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew Scream for Ice Cream. Oh man, we'll have to see. Alright, have a great rest of your day and I'll see you later. Bye!